Well, welcome back, everyone. We are here. Of course, I am Sig. Hear me roar. And over here, we we have Baby Booger himself,
Fucking dipshit.
Roggle.
The shitty thing is you had to look it up to make sure you had the name right on your phone before the podcast even started.
This is true, but that's because I also did like 4 or 5 different drafts after that. I was like, ooh, which one do I really like? And Baby Booger won. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you gotta hit us. You gotta hit us up on social media, and you'll see the clip. But that is Roggle's new nickname now. You can have Rachel or Baby Booger.
Baby Booger.
They got Baby Booger. Anyways, speaking of boogers, let's talk about the one man who had a fucking death grip on his ex-company and weaseled his stupid fucking old ass out of retirement and back into the WWE. Vince McMahon. Let's just get into this, because that's what today's topic is all about. It's all about the shit show that's been going on for not even a week yet. Hasn't even been a bloody week since he strong-armed this to happen and got himself back inside the WWE. So
what the news broke late last week? Thursday?
Wednesday night, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, okay.
He was back in as of Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So
and he came in with
2 ex-chairmen or 2 ex-board members who the 2 people or the 3 people they kicked out were 3, from my understanding of reading all the reports, were 3 main players who started the investigation against him for all his allegations. And he strong-armed them, and if you're not aware of it, basically what happened is he said, I will not allow any media deals, any type of sell or production or network deal at all if I'm not going to be in the company. I will deny all of it, because he has an 80% share ruling or law put in place that basically he has final say in all of it. So this piece of shit, and that's what he is. After this, it just solidifies it. It kind of tarnishes his whole thing, in my opinion, his whole legacy. Yeah. And he strong-armed him and said, if I'm not going to be a part of it, I'll just deny all sales and all the media deals, networking deals, which last I heard, all of them end in 2024, so next year. So that means Peacock, Fox, USA Network, they're all just gone as of 2024 if they cannot facilitate a new deal, which he stated he would not do if he's not back on the board. But to quote, I'm just here for business. This fuck, not even, oh.
And that's what he said. He says he's strictly here. He's not touching anything in-ring, story-based, anything like that. He's strictly there to essentially sell the company. And there's reports that the selling has started, but to who or whom it goes to, nobody really knows yet. I mean, there's talks of what Disney, Fox, CBS, Netflix, Peacock, Saudi
NBC,
Arabia.
Yeah, USA, Fox, Disney, Amazon, Netflix, not Hulu. People don't understand Disney owns mass majority of Hulu, therefore umbrella. But yeah, like I think whoever buys it is going to kind of course, as stupid as it sounds, it's going to dictate how the flow of WWE from here on out goes. A lot of people are worried that if Disney gets their hand on it, because they are the front runner, and they were the ones who actually attempted to buy WWE, back in 2020, pandemic era time frame, right before. I don't remember the exact date, so don't quote me on that. But they basically say, hey, we'll give you all this, and they said no. And everybody's worried that if Disney buys it, they'll go back to a strictly G and PG era. But I don't think people realize Disney owns 20th Century Fox. They own Hulu. They own a lot of other
They can go on another platform. It doesn't have to go on Disney Plus, which it more likely wouldn't. No. A lot of the kids stuff that they have, though it used to be on the network, that would be on Disney Plus, things like that. But
here's the thing, though, it's like Disney's already talked about they're going to start changing their UI so where it's more in line with like the other streamers who like Netflix. If you're adult, you have adult content available. If you're on kids, you have kids only. And people are a little concerned because they think, again, if Disney buys it, it's going to be it's child friendly, whatever. But if Disney just overhauls their UI and says, no, here you go, here's your pay-per-views, it can only be found on the adult profile, cool, whatever, problem solved. Or go on Hulu, which again they own mass majority of, or go on this other platform they have. They have ways to do it that it would work with no issues at all. But that's everybody's big bitching and moaning that I'm hearing.
And I don't see why they wouldn't go back to just having the network on its own like it was before. There was nothing wrong with it. The whole algorithm, everything, it was easily to search. The one on Peacock is absolute trash and garbage. Now you can't find anything.
Nightmare. It's
trying to cycle to that
because it's not all over. It's not overall. It's not all on Peacock. That's the thing. It's only a certain amount. You can still find everything on the WWE network for the most part because it's not completely shut down and put over. It's just it's not their main go-to source anymore. And like I think it'd be, again, I am a Disney fan, but I also look from a business perspective. If Disney buys it, why not revitalize the WWE network and then say, fuck you, Peacock. Now you want to watch your TV shows? Live stream it, WWE network. We don't need USA Network anymore. We don't need Fox Network anymore. We can just live stream Raw, live stream NXT, live stream SmackDown. Hell, live stream your house shows. Get the publicity and get the marketing that way too, where people can see what's going on behind the scenes almost. And here's all your pay-per-views, and it's legitimately everything's on a centralized location, and it's so much easy. Or if they want to go a different route, Hulu, which is a hell of a lot easier to navigate than Peacock. And no offense towards Peacock, your UI just sucks ass. Hulu actually has everything categorized fairly well, and again, because Disney has their hands very deep in those pockets, and they control mass majority of it, and it just makes sense. That's like, I mean, we're just really touching the surface too. It's a problem because, like you said earlier, Vince said this is just for business, and literally when he took back over, he's an executive board member, he's not CEO yet, he's not CFO, COO, CMO, whatever. He's nothing of that yet.
Well, now today, before a couple hours before we went live, Stephanie's out.
Yep. About 5 p.m.
She resigned, Tuesday. So she's out. That's one CEO that's out. So now it's just Khan by himself right now until somebody else is either appointed or he just does it by himself for a while.
It's just him until he leaves.
So you're gonna go that route, and my guess is that there was a stipulation of some kind. She steps out, but you don't touch anybody else in there somewhere, because let alone Vince is not a dumb businessman by any means. The guy knows what he's doing. He's brought the company to where it's at today, hands down, by himself. And Stephanie followed in his footsteps, obviously knows what she's doing in some aspect of the company. And going forward, I think she has some ideas on what her plan was when she was going to resign. As to, my guess would be Triple H stays where he's at. You don't touch him, move him, or like that. And some manner of that is my thought, but it's hard to tell because of how crazy everything's happening right now in the past.
Well, let's just back up, okay? Because of course it is January 10th, Tuesday, so about 4 p.m., 5 p.m. today. That news of Stephanie resigning took place. But again, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday last week, Vince came back and said, "This is all business. I don't want anything else. I'm just here to facilitate the sale of WWE." And their stocks rose 12%. But keep in mind, their stocks also plummeted back in early December when he said, "I'm going to make my comeback." And their stocks dipped I think 5 or 6%. Don't quote me on that exact number. But so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He literally weaseled his ass back in, said his only business. Friday night, Saturday morning, there was already internal reports coming out saying that he now wants to have creative come to him and basically him have final say on it. Again, he's not CEO, he's not CFO, CEO, CEO, CMO, whatever fucking C blank O abbreviation you want to give. He's not that. He's just an executive board member right now. And internal reports have already started flooding the leaks or the network, whatever you want to call it, very badly. That now he wants to supposedly have some say in creative, which again totally contradicts him saying, "I just want to do business side, nothing else." So now I find it very funny and coincidental, I guess, that Stephanie would be like, "All right, I'm out." She already sees where the shit show's gonna go. It doesn't benefit her at all to stay, because if they sell, which is said to be in the next 3 to 6 months, so again, right in time, WrestleMania, either right before or just shortly after. But then you have Stephanie go down. You had 2 other board members leave, if I remember correctly, and then there's also speculation, like heavy speculation. Again, this is all just pure fucking rumors because nothing's solidified. Nobody's saying yes or no, but all the reports are basically saying the same thing, that there will be a very soon exodus of not just behind the scenes people, but also talent, because we had a lot of talent come back under the pure understanding that Vince McMahon was not going to be involved and was not in WWE anymore. And yet here we are, turn of the year. It's still not technically Triple H's era for like creative control, because he just started finishing everything off and he just started his own lineup literally just a few weeks ago, beginning of December. But nothing was going to be, it wasn't going to truly be his creative show until after WrestleMania. So he's kind of tinkering around. Post WrestleMania was going to be, this is 100% purely Paul Levesque / Triple H's control, versus cleaning up the shit show that is Vince's. And we were starting to see great storylines, pure and legit like storylines with beginning, middle, and end, versus beginning, oh, what happened 6 months later? What happened to this angle? Thought this angle was happening. Oh, it's not? They cancel it? Oh, okay. So there's a lot of talent who has started becoming very concerned because they didn't want to work for Vince anymore. Vince is the reason why they left. So people, internal reports again, is how they're stating it, are simply saying that he won't, because he's there, these talents will not last past WrestleMania. And it's just kind of that simple, I guess, would be the best way to put it.
Yeah, and they'll continue to bury some. And there'll be some of, because I know there's some events that they've buried. Like they revamped Austin Theory, like we've talked about.
He needed it, though. This whole youngest, he was mimicking John Cena. It's just too much.
They buried Shinsuke, and that was more Vince that did that. Well, they threw him a bone with the Great Muta match, but
Vince did that from like the very beginning. Like that wasn't a overtime thing. That was like Vince got a great NJPW guy, Shinsuke Nakamura, brought him over, gave him a couple like highlight moments. He got the IC title. Nothing else really. And he's a hell of a performer, hell of a wrestler, and yet we never saw him get a push. Anytime he went against Reigns was a squash match. That's really what it was. He was never, him and Cesaro, both of them, great talent, super underutilized, and just got buried like a motherfucker. And it's so bad to see that, because as viewers who watch this, and we see Cesaro, we see Shinsuke Nakamura, and we're like, oh my god, these are like good wrestlers. These are amazing. They're so much better than, say, I don't know, Reigns. Reigns is a great wrestler, example. And yet here we are, we're burying these guys rather than setting up proper runs. or like the Reigns and Nakamura line was a couple weeks, 3 weeks. He qualified, got the match and done. Like that was it. And it was just to kind of line up bodies for Reigns, and it's just such a bad use of talent. Whereas Triple H is trying to undo that work. And I think again, the Great Muta match was more Triple H versus Vince. And it's Triple H going, no, you're absolutely right. Let's bridge this gap because he is starting to have a lot of connections with NJPW. Like he has these connections to AA or AAA or whatever it's called down in Mexico and GCW and all these other ones, and yet Vince was very much they don't exist. They're nobody. These other competition are nobody, and yet they're somebody because it's where all the great wrestlers are coming from.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, no, they're not. They're not big enough to be somebody in Vince's eyes. But the talent that they hold, Dragon Lee being one of them, that they just signed to NXT, is a huge one. And he has other ones that come with, like his brother Rush. His brother Rush is great as well. Yep. But they have the faction that I can't pronounce. But there's other talents in New Japan Pro Wrestling that are great as well. And just like the hell's her name? She changed it. Sasha Banks changed her name too.
Monet.
There's I can't remember what her first name is, but yeah. Anyways, she made her debut over there, and the fact that she's on there.
Not right.
I know it's not Monica.
Mercedes Monet.
All right, so yeah, under Mercedes Monet now, and she'll have her run there, and she will eventually come back as Mercedes Monet.
Not Vince is still there. Vince buried her too.
No, yeah.
But again, here's the thing. Speaking of Sasha Banks / Mercedes, I know it's 99.999% all a shoot, but the amount of disgust she had for the Wrestle Kingdom 17, where she's like, y'all were talking about me. I've been on your lips for weeks and weeks and weeks, and now you have nothing to say. Now you have she was trashing them. Again, it's all a shoot. But it very much shows where she came from, WWE versus Japan, where over in Japan, you don't get a lot of crowd involvement too often because they respect the overall performance. It's not like here in the U.S. where we have boo, yay, Cena sucks, let's go. So that shit very rarely happens over there because it's a very well respected community, and the way it came across, at least for me and a lot of people in her comment sections as well, is she was just being very disrespectful and just being a spoiled brat. And she didn't. And everybody's saying she botched the ending. She didn't. You could tell that was clearly Kairi Sane didn't land properly. She landed on her knees and not her feet like she was supposed to. But in true Mercedes fashion, Sasha is a great worker, and she's great on rebounding and fixing spots and making it at least work. Unlike her current WWE SmackDown champion.
Which is who?
Charlotte Flair.
I mean, I think she's better than Bayley.
Everybody's better than Bayley.
So with that as well,
and Io Sky are better than Bayley.
With Charlotte Flair losing it, have you seen what Rousey has said now? Rousey said she's tired of it. She wants out.
Last I saw from her was saying she's done going after the main title and she's gonna go conquer the tag team division.
That
was Sunday, so a couple days ago.
Now, unless it's her character being, I'm tired of singles matches, and wants to do that, and if she wants to go with square jaw Shayna Baszler, then cool, whatever. But that's going to be, I don't know, a joke. I can't stand either one of those two to wrestle and watch them and take them serious, I guess.
But here's the thing: neither one of them are great wrestlers. No. But I think they need each other, but they definitely need they need a mouthpiece. They need a manager. And for them, they could do very well with somebody like Sonya Deville, who knows the GM role. She knows behind the scene roles very well. She knows how to be a wrestler. Granted, we don't see much of her. She typically gets squashed, but she's also fairly good on the mic. I'm not saying she's amazing, but she's fairly good on the mic, and she's better than majority of the women in the women's division.
But does it have to be a female manager?
It doesn't.
Does it have to be?
She's post UFC, so like she's mixed martial artist, or she's a fighter. Like, so they all have connections off ties, so it all makes perfect sense. Versus
and I get it. I just don't, I hate the whole women wrestlers has to have a female manager. If you find somebody that fits it, and I know you're not saying that, but if you find somebody that fits that role to be the better mouthpiece to project these two, who obviously are not the best on the mic, give it to them to push them, and they can be, if they wanted to be a dominant force, a dominant tag team, and go through and just wreck shop. Obviously, they have the background to do that. Maybe not the upfront talent to do it, but the background to do it, to back it up. Yes, they're powerful. Yes, they have technique. Yes, they have both fought in the UFC or like that, but they have to have somebody to obviously speak for them.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, then the only way this would work is if Bloodline gets squashed. But Paul Heyman would be a great person because he's worked with the likes of Brock Lesnar. Again, UFC background. Lesnar is not great on the microphone until recently. And he's decent right now. But Paul Heyman has built him up to this beast incarnate, to this ultimate guy. And that's kind of what they were trying to do with Ronda Rousey. You could see it. Just bringing a female version of Brock. But the problem is Ronda's too lippy. And she's too vocal about everything. Whereas Lesnar is very much, he doesn't like people. He doesn't do press conference. He doesn't stay behind. He doesn't do any of this social media marketing crap. He literally keeps to himself, and that's it. And that's like why The Undertaker worked so well. Is again, character stayed with inside WWE. You didn't see much of him outside. Whatever. Different era, I get it. But the point is, Ronda Rousey is way too fucking vocal about her disdain for WWE and the entire community. It's not even, oh yeah, I know it's fake, or I know it's staged, or this. It's, no, I'm fucking better than all these people. This is fake. I don't give a shit about this. Like, clearly she's there for the money. And again, if she's trying to portray the ultimate heel character, she's not doing a good job. She's more portraying a whiny ass little bitch who has all the potential there to be a dominant force inside WWE. Maybe it's just bad booking, but I think it's more they went and just tossed her in the deep end and said she'll float. In reality, she should have spent, again, kind of like Dominic Mysterio, she should have spent a few months in development, a few months in NXT, wreck house in NXT, and even win the women's division title there, and basically said, I don't need this shit anymore, throw it away and walk out. And then, a month or two later, she shows up on Raw or SmackDown. Story and character development versus da-da.
We'll get to the shit show that is Dominic Mysterio in a second. The fact that Ronda has the background she has, carries the rowdy, good plug, carries the rowdy name from Piper, but obviously does not any way, shape, or form live up to that name.
What's the connection between the two, other than like they shared a moment or whatever? Like,
she was a huge fan, and she asked him if she could carry the name. Like, that's all that I know of.
She doesn't do the moves. She doesn't have the same mentality. She tries. If that's what they're shooting for, is like a female Piper, it's not working very well.
She's not even that close. I don't even think she's close to female Piper at all. Piper was a lunatic. Piper was crazy, went off and did his own thing. He was a loose cannon, the way he portrayed himself, and the guy went nuts.
But
obviously,
he was respected. He was respected. That's the problem. Is he came in, he respected the business. He respected the other wrestlers. Character was character. Again, different era. Yes, we understand this. No social media. Tons of social media. Everything had to be written in the newspaper and headlines and TV. Everything's everywhere at all times. I get it. But if you're going to play the baddest bitch in the world, you need to sound well versed in the field and like you actually give a damn. Again, I hate Charlotte Flair, but at least she respects the business. At least she understands the business. That there's a time and place. But again, she's also been shoved down my throat for years. And she has tons of moves, and I could go on for days. So, but she only wanted to get the titles off of Ronda, so where, again, Ronda refused to work with certain people. Flair doesn't, because Flair respects the business, and Flair understands the business. Ronda just goes, fuck you, I don't want to do it. It's that simple. Tell me I'm wrong.
Nope, and I totally agree. I just think that there needs to be something done in the fact of if she's going to go tag team, she's got to have, like you said, they have to have a mouthpiece.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a woman. I'm just saying there's a connection. There's a stable there.
It doesn't. And you know, who knows? She tried to do her female version of the Four Horsemen with her stable of women that she had with her at the very beginning. That fizzled out really quickly.
But okay, was that because of her, or is it because of Vince?
I would say it's probably because of both, to be honest, because you can't repackage that with somebody who doesn't have any wrestling background and try and carry that around, in my opinion.
But here's the thing, they could have. Again, she wasn't packaged right. She wasn't done right. I'm not trying to defend her. I'm trying to simply justify the character and the logic behind this. If you're going to create such an iconic stable, or a remake of a stable, like the Four Horsemen, you want to do the Four Horsewomen, even though Becky, Bayley, Charlotte, and Sasha are there. If you want to do like the powerhouse of the UFC women coming over, the thing is it all should have started again in development in NXT and made their way up. Kind of like how the true Four Horsewomen, Becky, Sasha, Bayley, and Charlotte, they all were NXT together. They were all in development. They work together. They have a connection. They have a bond. There's a story. There's a background. And it's forever known. With Rousey, again, here you go. Shove it down your throat. Here's Ronda Rousey, everyone. She's going to mimic Piper.
And it's not working for her. But who knows? It may or may not work. Who knows where she goes in the future? But I think with her, maybe she'll show back up and do something. Who knows?
I think we'll be able to tell based upon if Vince ever gets back in control of creative, because he liked Ronda.
Yeah.
So if we start seeing more of a push with Ronda outside of the tag team division, and she somehow makes she makes the SmackDown or Raw title again, there's going to be several tells to prove if Vince stays in his fucking pocket or he comes out and messes with creative.
It's only a matter of time before he does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you'll see a shift.
I've already stated, like, I've been getting a lot of shit. Like, if anybody follows us on Twitter, I'm mostly the mouthpiece on Twitter. On all social media, I'm the mouthpiece. So if you see shit talking, that's me. I do a very good job of it. But anyways, I voiced on Twitter last week when Vince said, I'm going to do this or else. And I said, he's going to come back and we're going to see people leave. I called out Stephanie. I didn't tag her or anything. I specifically said, watch Stephanie step away. And then we'll see Triple H. And we'll see Nick. And we're going to start seeing a lot of people who have truly changed the game are going to slowly start leaving over the next 6 months. some of them are going to tough out till WrestleMania. But after WrestleMania, I guarantee you we're going to see a whole different creative team, a whole different set of writers, everything, because Vince is back.
I don't think Triple H leaves.
If the sell does not go through before WrestleMania, Triple H is gone because Vince will have his hands in the pocket somehow and say, "No, you can't book this guy. No, I don't want Cody Rhodes dethroning Roman Reigns. No, The Rock has to do it." The Rock and Cena are already not likely to show up in WrestleMania because they don't want to be involved with the Vince drama. And according to all these stupid fucking reports, The Rock will not jeopardize his, quote, political career future and come back while all this Vince drama is going down. Again, we don't talk politics, so take that for its face value.
I don't know. I don't see Triple sell or no sell. I don't see Triple H leaving. I say he sticks out where he's at for as long as he has already of losing NXT, getting NXT back, playing the game of what he's done behind the scenes and everything else. Did there. Yeah. I think he will not leave unless he is forced out. I do see
he took a leave of absence last year with his wife, Stephanie.
Yeah.
And guess what? Went first last time.
Yeah. I don't think he leaves though. I don't think he leaves though. That was his heart thing though, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry, not his brain, heart.
One of the two. Good job, Tim, man.
I am from Kansas, so yeah. Come on, Dorothy, let's go.
But I do say Cena and The Rock, at least Cena for one, if they do go through with the Logan Paul match.
Or Austin Theory.
And
that's the other.
And Logan Paul?
No.
Or
Austin
Cena.
Theory and Cena for the US title.
Okay.
That's the other speculation card I've seen of people saying this is really what we're hinting at. And it would make more sense for Cena to hand the torch off to Austin Theory than to face off against Logan Paul, because he's not going to be a full-time wrestler. As much as he could be, with everything Logan has going on in his life, he'll never be a full-time wrestler. He'll be a part-timer, and he'll be an exclusive wrestler to main events like SummerSlam and WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series. He'll be in the big four. Maybe a couple of the smaller ones, but he's never going to be an actual full-fledged 24/7 type wrestler. Even comparative to Reigns' schedule, and Reigns barely wrestles now.
Oh, Brock Lesnar's schedule.
He's present. Yeah,
which is only a few a year. Now with the Rock, I mean, who knows? It's so hard to figure out what the hell he's doing, where he stands, and everything else.
He's under fire right now. That's where he stands.
Yeah. Plus, he also has the XFL going as well, where he's co-owner of that, and that starts next month. So that'll be full. That'll be a full kick. What's that?
He also has a DCU drama and a possible lawsuit coming down the line from Henry Cavill against his ex-wife, because his ex-wife was his agent, and is also the agent for The Rock.
There's also another lawsuit going on against Warner Brothers.
That's not The Rock though. That's
no, I know that's Cavill, Affleck,
yeah,
and
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, but we'll get into that later.
Another episode.
So, yeah,
but yeah,
I think
I don't think The Rock's coming back.
I don't think so either. I can see it, but I think the way that they're going with now Reigns and Sammy going back and forth on a few things, they're going to set up those two. And if Sammy does,
you think they'll do that before WrestleMania or for WrestleMania?
No, I don't. No, I think it'll be set up either at Mania, which I have a hard time seeing Sami Zayn being a headliner like that in WrestleMania, but he's got a huge following right now, and then but I guess I don't. I'm not sold on him yet.
They'll tag with KO, and they'll take down the tag division, the tag team titles. They'll take that, and basically set in frustration among the bloodline, where now Reigns is the only one with the title, and it's going to cause a division. And then we'll see Sami Zayn maybe SummerSlam. I would say be the earliest that we see Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. And then by the end of the year, Roman Reigns and Bloodline will be not dissipated, but they'll be gone. We won't see them for a few months.
Because I'm not 100% sold on Sami. Like, he's entertaining, he's funny. I like the character, but I'm not 100% sold on him being a one-on-one WrestleMania main event right now. No. I don't see it, but shit, who knows? No. It could happen. I mean, the way that they book shit, who knows? I do like the idea of chopping down the totem pole, starting with the Usos at the bottom and working their way up. That way.
Other than what I just said, where it's like first tag titles and then the Undisputed, I would love not only for that to happen, but kind of like the final nail in the coffin would be Solo Sikoa become like IC champion, and him be the only one that holds gold within the bloodline, and basically says, I'm tribal chief, right? I hold the gold. You don't have gold anymore. You don't have gold anymore. I have gold. So acknowledge me. And basically Solo beats the shit out of Reigns, and Reigns just kind of disappears. And we just don't see him for, I don't know, 4 months. Time for WrestleMania type thing. And then the bloodline's just kind of gone. Let Jimmy and Jay take a couple months off and come back too. But not as the bloodline.
Work. I mean, there's so many different scenarios and ideas that could be thrown out for the downfall of the bloodline, or the divide or dissolvement of it.
Check back with us in a few months. We'll see how this all goes.
Next week, after Vince gets a hold of everything, who knows? So, and then also the sale, if the company does get sold, who knows? That could change things drastically, or stays the same. Who knows?
Well, the big one a lot of people have mentioned is the Saudi investment group. And a lot of people, I've been seeing that one a lot, where people are like, oh, don't worry, they won't change anything. It'll still be based here in the U.S. It'll just be owned by Saudis. And I don't think a lot of people realize, one, people like Sami Zayn, who has the most heat on him right now, and like good heat, bad heat type thing too, he won't work for the company. He's not allowed to go to Saudi Arabia because he's Jewish. Paul Heyman will not be there. You're going to have a lot of these people who belong to a certain faith, or no longer belong to a certain faith, like MVP, and they're not allowed. Because that is the law of the land over there, is they are not allowed. So what makes anybody think that the Saudi investment group buys WWE, that we don't start seeing people like Sami Zayn, MVP, Paul Heyman no longer on show, no longer working for the company? And we already know that KO, Kevin Owens, backs Sami Zayn, and a couple times he didn't go to Saudi Arabia, KO didn't go to Saudi Arabia either. And it's just because, well, Sami can't go, I'm not going. Like, it's respect. So, same with like Malachi Black, who's now Aleister Black over on AEW. I don't see Vince being that stupid and that asinine to sell to them, no matter how much the money is. I don't see them, but...
And they don't care about the wrestling history, the wrestling stories. They don't care about
any of it.
The money and the fame that comes with it, the superstars that are there. Because watching a show in Saudi, obviously they get to pretty much pick the matches they want to see to a certain aspect.
Yeah.
And the lack of respect that is seen in the outer part of the ring during the matches is all it is them running back and forth, taking pictures, doing this or that. Watching security guards during some of those matches, they're running back and forth trying to get these guys to sit down, trying to get them to. It's like wrangling cats.
Yeah,
because of how they're all over the place trying to take pictures, doing this and that, and it's not about the love of wrestling. It's about the show, which is exactly what you're going to do. You're going to watch the show. Yes, it is entertainment, but also at the same time, they want it there. They want to see certain things, but they're not sitting and watching it. It's pretty much you're sitting a bunch of spoiled kids in front of a TV, and they get to run around and play games.
Yeah, it's just a spectacle. It's not true. Like, and we've shit talked them before with Crown Jewel, where we have said numerous times that the pay-per-view or Premier Live event Crown Jewel is a joke. Yeah. It doesn't mean anything. It holds no continuity to the storylines. It holds nothing. Like, that's there simply for the Saudi prince to say, I want Goldberg. I want Kurt Angle. I want DX. No, I know they're all in their 60s. I want all these people. Like, they act very much like entitled little pricks. And yes, they're filthy fucking rich. I get it. But as an entertainment side of the house business, it would be such bad business to sell to someone like that who it's treated more like a toy than anything else. Mm-hmm. If you're going to sell it to any foreign investors, Japan would probably be the only one that I could come to mind. Maybe a couple European ones, but mostly Japan, because they respect the ever-loving shit out of pro wrestling. Because it's more than just entertainment. It is literally such a huge part of their culture now that, again, go watch New Japan Wrestling. It is such a different show compared to WWE or AEW or GCW or AAA. Like, it's drier because, again, they're there to actually absorb everything, to enjoy it, to see the stories, to see you, the entertainer, come out and do your job.
Yeah, the story's being told in the ring, not on a mic.
Yeah. And then you get spoiled little brats like Mercedes Moné, who's like, you all didn't like me. So they would be the only ones, not Saudi at all. It would be bad business. But with that said, though, again, we talked about Disney. Disney gets in a lot of hot water with the Saudi Arabian kingdom. Gets in trouble with China. Gets in trouble with Russia. A lot of these very, I can't even say conservative because that's not even the right word anymore. These very strict countries that, nope, no gays, nope, no lesbian, no Christianity, no Muslim, no like whatever. They're very strict on their religion and their politics and all that. And if it goes against any of their teachings or any of their brainwashing in certain cases, they're very much like, nope, and it's not allowed. And it's not a conspiracy. Like, look up China law, so it's all there. It's one of those things that just it would be better to see in the hands of Disney and know that, oh, Saudi Arabia is done working with WWE now. Cool. Now I don't have to watch a pay-per-view at 10 a.m. in the morning trying to figure out, oh, is it 10 a.m. or is it 8? Is it 9?
Yeah.
I just want to watch my pay-per-view at 7 p.m.
So, I mean, if it happens, who knows? But I think with the acquisitions that are gonna start to happen, as far as some wrestlers are going to come in that were supposed to come in before Vince was back. There's a couple that started to filter in, and then there's probably going to be, if he stays around, a couple that start to walk out. Because I guarantee there's, off the top of my head, I can't think of any, but I know there's some that are like, that will not work for Vince.
Right.
They don't want to work for Vince.
Right.
Yeah, Bray is one.
Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Gargano and his wife. Really,
so you'll start to see it happen.
Brought back.
Yeah.
I just it's going to be interesting. Like I said in response to several people on social media, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not proclaiming that I'll ever be right on this. That's just history repeats itself. Vince has a track record. And while he says it's just for business, we're already seeing his daughter has stepped down. And not just step down, step out. She has fully resigned. She's not taking a leave of absence. She's resigning from all of her positions. We've seen 2 other board members leave as well. And on top of the 3 that got let go. We're going to see a change of scenery. And it's either going to be because of Vince McMahon, or it's going to be because somebody buys out WWE. At that point, it's more of a, you have 128 wrestlers, but your show only ever encapsulates a total of 50 of them between the 3 shows. Do you really need 128, or do you just need 50? Oh, okay, well, that case, how do we do this? And we're going to see firings. But it's going to happen. I don't think it'll happen before WrestleMania, because that would be too big of a shock. Unless they announce it at WrestleMania. I could see them doing that. That would be... Because WrestleMania is in April.
Yeah.
3 months would be March. Late March. Early March, late March type thing would be the earliest. And then to July. So, or June. July. One of those 2. So they could sell out and then announce at WrestleMania that, hey, not only is this a 2-day event, here's the mouse. We have Donald Duck. And you talk about it. Oh, here's the thing. Okay, hear me out. Netflix sucks.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos sucks. So it's not going to be Amazon. Here's, realistically, think of it from this standpoint. Disney. Okay, Disney buys WWE. Cool. Here's the cool thing with that, though. Realistically, what could happen? Other than a bunch of new princesses who are, adults now. Come on, you have not seen the social media post about that?
Yeah, I have, yes.
Anyways, what would be super cool and amazing to do is there are certain wrestlers who would fit certain Marvel characters very well. And they no longer have to have them sign on with Disney or with WWE or whatever, because they're already contracted. So they could take somebody from the WWE world who's really good acting, by the way, not some shitty fucking, good acting, and say, by the way, you fit the perfect character for this supervillain, for this superhero, anti-hero, whatever. And now they can just segue in between the 2 of them. And now they get free work. And we start seeing less injuries, because Disney's not going to let their stars get injured. No way. Netflix would. Henry Cavill got hurt a couple times. So
I don't know.
Witcher season 2 got postponed.
I don't want to see Disney get it. I don't want Disney to get their hands on it. I would like to see a streaming service get it and just bring back the network altogether. That's where I think it should go. I mean, if Disney does get it that way and they put it back on the network, cool. But it needs to, if whoever buys it needs to just go strictly back to the network, the app, all that stuff, and run that way.
I think Disney's the only one that could do that. That's why they're the forefront for me, because NBC does it. They own the USA Network, and they own Peacock, and they have a bunch of other subsidiaries. They already have their own platform. They're not going to say, go to WWE. No, they're going to just integrate it. Netflix, integrate. Amazon, integrate. Fox, integrate. Everything would be integrated to the platforms they already have, because it wouldn't make any sense. Warner Brothers Discovery is the other one. HBO/Discovery. That's the other big one that's looking to purchase them. Again, platform. They already have it. Disney, one, has the cash flow. The stupid fucking amount of cash flow.
Yeah.
They truly understand that, oh, hey, it's okay to have a Hulu platform. Nat Geo, Discovery, sorry, Disney, all these other platforms they're cool with. They don't force all pure integrations to have one. It's here's this one. You want adult? Go to Hulu. You want more child friendly and family friendly? Pushing the boundaries of R? Here's Disney. So Disney could be the one that, okay, we buy you. Get the fuck on Hulu for right now. They already have the live streaming set up on Hulu. They already do the Disney bundle with Hulu and ESPN. Yeah, again, you have Disney, you have Hulu, go get ESPN. There's your WWE network. If you're not going to use the WWE network, go put it on the shitty fucking app that's ESPN. Mm-hmm. But they could also say, and by the way, now we have 4 platforms. Just Disney, ESPN, Hulu, WWE. And now you're not having to pick and choose. You can have all 4 for a cheap, low price. Or you can pick which one you want. But Disney just makes the most sense out of everybody other than Warner Brothers Discovery. That would be the only other one I could see doing it. But Discovery, WB Discovery, whatever, don't see them doing it because they've been doing a lot of budget cuts. Lots of firing, a lot of canceling of series and movies because it's not in the budget. So if they somehow got their hands on WWE, they would definitely be the ones like, you have X employees, you don't need that many. You need 10% of that. Now you're fucked. And they're going to have final say on who stays and who goes. So.
I could see Amazon.
So Jeff Bezos can fuck that up like he did Twitch?
Well, I mean, he has no idea what he's talking about Twitch. No, I mean, Amazon has plenty of fucking cash flow to do it as well. I mean, they have the money. I mean, they may not have Disney money, but they've got money. Another one would have been that I know is not going to happen now would have been YouTube, but YouTube just signed a huge contract with the NFL.
But that's Google. Google owns YouTube.
Yeah, so YouTube just signed a huge $1 billion contract with the NFL for next year, or for multi years.
Again, how does the NFL impact WWE?
No,
all their premier live events are now on Saturdays, not Sundays. Like, they deliberately moved it so that to compete with the likes of Super Bowl and Sunday Night Football.
Not just more like cash flow wise. They just spent billions on that as well. So,
but Google could buy, ABC Inc. could buy WWE, and again, they would also be one that's like WWE Network. Here you go. You got YouTube Red, you now have access to WWE Network. And maybe people would actually use YouTube Red. Who uses that? Well,
I will next year. Just because of the NFL. Because the Sunday ticket is going there. And that's how I watch all the games on Sundays, is now that those fuckers have it. We'll see how much it's going to cost to do it. So who knows?
It just means it can be streamed live there too.
Yeah, it can be streamed live there, but you're gonna have to buy a package of some kind.
No. It could be like, that's going to make it more easy for a YouTube streamer to literally say, "Come watch the game on my channel. Here, it's live stream." They're paying for the package.
Yeah, and they do that on Twitch.
Yeah, they just get in a lot of trouble.
No, there's partnerships that they'll do it. I know that Tim the Tap Man, Nick Merckx, they've streamed the Thursday night football games. They've done those that are typically held on Amazon.
Yeah,
because Amazon has that, so they're able to do that through Amazon. But it's a contract with the NFL as well through Amazon that they're able to do that. So, but yes, I can see now that the YouTube has it, and the Tap Man is on YouTube, so he will get back into being able to do that because he's a huge Cowboys fan and is able to do that stuff and has done a lot in.
No wonder he fucking sucks at
the stadium. So,
hi Tim.
Yeah, I'm sure he's come on the show. We'll talk about it. I think with the way that the acquisitions are going to happen, with the possible sale, the storylines either coming or going, and who is going to have creative control around or after WrestleMania. will be the big thing.
Yeah, because I mean,
And I
again,
hope that Triple H doesn't go anywhere.
I think he's the variable.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's like the sole reason, but I think he's the end all be all with this situation of if Triple H leaves, you're gonna have a plethora of superstars who just go, peace, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna want to risk it. Or if they do risk it, they'll risk it till the end of their contract and they will not renew. And the other thing that is coming to play a lot right now is there is a new, and we're not going to get much into politics. I'm going to just mention the bill, not by name. But there's a bill put in place to stop contracted employees, specific like wrestlers, who right now, if they wrestle, there's a non-compete clause. So if they leave or they quit or they get fired, they have like a 60-day, 90-day, or X months non-compete clause. There's a bill in motion that if it gets passed, it would eliminate that. So if somebody gets fired or quits WWE, they don't have to wait the period out. They can just go jump ship to AEW or New Japan. They can go right away. They don't have to wait. That's going to be a big factor later this year, because I think it's being passed later this year. But that's also a big one for Vince because he's very much against that. He doesn't believe if he fires someone that they should be able to just pack up and go. That they should basically stay at home for 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, wherever their non-compete clause is, and not suffer, but you're not going to get any publicity. You're not allowed to market yourself. You're not allowed to do anything and go compete elsewhere. That will be a huge benefactor if this deal does not go through before that is agreed upon. But I don't know when that is, but that's one of the few things I've been following really closely. We're like, oh, what's this? Oh, and then Vince came back. I was like, fuck. Fuck you.
Yeah, so it'll get interesting. It'll be fun. In the fact of things should heat up. But I like the way storylines are going. I just hope they continue going for a little bit longer than they should.
Making my shot call right now. Triple H will be here guaranteed till WrestleMania. Depending upon what happens with the sell and depending upon whether or not Vince McMahon gets greedy, as usual, and fucks with creative. If storylines get muddied, if storylines don't make sense anymore or they just disappear, Triple H will not be here after WrestleMania. He'll go back to his leave of absence as well. Just say, I'm done. I won't be a part of this anymore. Very nicely. He'll be like, suck it. But
we'll see. I think him and Sean stick around.
Well, again, if H leaves, I think Sean will leave right behind him. And so will
Road Dogg.
There we go. Yeah.
I think he'll get rid of him. He won't have a choice. If Triple H is gone, yeah.
Yep.
He won't have a job regardless.
He doesn't do much for the company anyways right now.
Well, he's behind Bray Wyatt right now. He's helping direct that one.
Yeah, that's his Bray Wyatt has full control over that. So
yeah, he does, but he's
Road Dogg.
He's producing that whole segment though. That's like his thing.
Yeah, but again, he's really truly just going.
Yeah, if Triple H is gone, he won't be there. There's no way he'll be around it if Triple H is gone. He's only tolerated because Triple H is there.
He's not, I think he'll be gone before the end of the year, regardless if Triple H stays or not. I think Road Dogg's gone because he's been making a lot of bold statements as of this last couple weeks, calling out certain WWE wrestlers and even AEW wrestlers and just basically saying they suck, they're not good, they shouldn't wrestle, they need to go do something else. And Austin Theory, I think, was part of his rant a week or two ago. And he just said some not so nice things. That it's like, oh, you really just kind of discredited all of what they're building up for. And you can't really do that. You need to shut your mouth. Play ball. This is not DX. You can't just speak your mind anymore. You're a businessman. Shut your mouth. color inside the lines. You can't do that. Do like the Marines, eat the crayon. It's fine. But, it'll be interesting. I think this next 4 months will be very interesting. It'll tell a lot. We'll have more about this subject here in just a matter of a few weeks, because Royal Rumble is 3 Saturdays from now. It's the 28th.
Yeah, so 18 days from today.
Yeah, so a little under 3 weeks from now. And we'll have another episode right before on the 26th, giving our predictions, as well as a Royal Rumble bingo card that I'm working on. We'll have Clint back on here. If you're not familiar with who Clint is, longtime friend, baby booger over there, and he's got stories.
Fuck.
So he'll be on for all of our premier live events coverage of WWE. Again, 26th, we will have predictions and what we think will happen with storylines and all that. And then another one on the 30th or 31st, fallouts from Royal Rumble, and see who was right and who won Royal Rumble bingo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot of stuff stored. Got a lot of stuff in store. So stay tuned. And of course, make sure to follow us on social media. Follow me, really, is what I'm saying. Follow 2 Guys 1 Gamepad and hear Sick talk shit. Lots of it. I'm there for the fun. Other than that, y'all, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you enjoy this episode, and we will catch you on the flip side. Now, I'm going to pass over to none other than Baby Booger.
Baby Booger. I hope you stub your toe and get gonorrhea, you fucker. Till the next one. Bye, bitch.